Hello and welcome to the first part of the mega time lapse. I actually want the normal music to stop so I can play this. Oh well. And of course, as usual, I have to start off with wasting time with another. I listen to freaking Big Step. As I said, this is part one of the mega time lapse. I'm trying to get caught up to the current events in Minecraft. And unfortunately, I can't really do too much in a single video without just cutting out hours upon hours of work. I already have actually already have this going at 30 times speed, uh, which is certainly quick. Probably could be quicker, but I'm a little hesitant to cut out too much of the work I put into all of this. But I still have a backlog of footage all the way back to October. And this is only 3 of the clips. Most of my videos of this type have 2, so progress, I guess. I am trying to get more in the habit of getting more of the footage down in a week. But I do have other stuff going on. I have a job, and I have other stuff I have to do on my days off. So, here you can see me getting around to putting the roof in. A lot of work that would eventually end up being undone because it ends up being the wrong curve to match along with the reference pic. And I could never find more than a single image of the type, which made it a lot harder to really get a good feel for what I was doing. And yeah, I've been playing for years. I do not have years of experience in this, unfortunately. I've mostly played Minecraft off and on over the years, much as with everything else. So any skills I may or may not have get rusty very quickly and very frequently. And I ended up having to repair all my gear. I can get a good look. I think I was trying to get an axe to use besides the one that destroys entire logs of, well, logs when I'm trying to remove misplaced blocks. But I, of course, got sidetracked and just played around with the trident for about 30 minutes at the end of that session. Pretty stupid. And I actually ended up having to skip 2 pieces of footage because OBS had screwed up. No, it wasn't OBS's fault. It was my fault. I screwed up. I did not have it set to the correct settings, so I ended up just recording the same still screen for multiple hours instead of the actual gameplay. So here you can see I have a lot more progress made, but I am in the middle of redoing the roof, which is its own form of torture. But it can be relaxing if mind-numbingly boring at times. I find it's a nice way to unwind after a day at work. Long shift, where you have to focus on everything you're doing every second. Then you just lobotomize yourself and do the same repetitive task for hours and just relax. I ended up, as you saw a minute ago, that was me getting sidetracked yet again, trying to make an iron farm. It still doesn't work to this day. Not properly, anyways. I can't get the villagers to stay within constant line of sight of the pillager, so they aren't constantly panicked. Okay. Back in Minecraft. Is F5 still a streaming button? Yes, it is. Okay, so, I have not been streaming in the last couple of days, mostly because I haven't had much time for it to be worth the, all the time. Turns out I screwed up my roof, so I've been going back and doing it. I have this entire side redone. It looks so bland from the side, but like from over here, it still looks like shit. But I mean, okay, it feels weird saying shit instead of shit, instead of like the actual word. I'm trying to. Actually, that's probably a great way to get demonetized on YouTube. Anyways, I actually have not been able to find any other pages like this, which is weird. It's like Norse architecture. Nowhere else uses that kind of architecture. You got this, or this. You got buildings like Burke from How to Train Your Dragon, or like Rohan from Lord of the Rings, or Skyrim, but nothing else like this, which I'm actually really surprised by. I'm about to get attacked by a zombie, aren't I? Where is it? Please tell me it's gonna jump down from on top to come and eat me. Please do. I would love to send you off a cliff with my Yeeting 2 sword. No? Shame. Alright. Over here and back to the boring stuff. And then ended up started doing the other side of the roof. That took an equally long time, but it wasn't too difficult. Once I got the end set up how I wanted it to be, it was just a matter of following that pattern all the way down. So boring, yes. Time consuming, yes. Tedious, absolutely. But in the end, it wasn't particularly complicated, and took less time than actually. No, it took it exactly as long as it felt like. Yeah, I was finally able to be done with dealing with that, or for the time being anyways. I still have the rest of the build to do, and I was eventually able to start on the interior. I'm surprised my beacon was still showing through the roof. I guess stairs and slabs just don't count as blocking the light. Yeah, anyways, it took a minute to take a look over what I had done, relaxed, in the Zen Garden, and then went back to getting all the resources I needed. Got a bunch of spruce wood from another player, and started putting all spruce wood logs as the supports, and the build really started coming together. I was able to start getting rid of some scaffolding. Had to line it up a bit though because, well, mob spawning. I got a bit of a political discussion, and then went back to sell a bunch of or to start trading a bunch of the carrots for my farm. And villages ran out of trades, as usual. But the walls were, well, they're pretty bland. Just spruce wood planks, for now at least. Eventually, I'll probably go back and do something to give it like some depth or a gradient or something. But that's a long ways away, even now, unfortunately. Not dead. I think I'm gonna call it for a night because I'm not capable of focusing on anything. The next evening. Feels like my kidneys are trying to claw their way out of my back. No idea why. A long shift at work left me with some back pain. So it's definitely a bit of a... Well, it was a bit of a pain. To even just sit up and record. As you can see, I started screwing around with the iron farm again. Trying to get it to work. But it still doesn't exactly function. I eventually managed to get an iron golem spawner through the in-game store, or at least the server shop, the loot crate system thing. But those spawners are unfortunately disabled, so it's not really as much help as it could be. I spent some time restocking my stores. I checked my gunpowder farm. I ended up just buying a bunch from Seawell instead, because he sells it for cheap and I can still make a profit selling fireworks with it. And then just cycling my farms yet again. Definitely... I think this is actually before I got all of the... yeah, I think it's before I got all the tracks laid in underneath the sugarcane farm. So I had to do all that manually. I had to reposition all my chests because one of them was just like right on the edge of a a claim border, because these servers love to have those claiming systems to make sure no one else can screw around in your builds. So I had to adjust that so it would actually be a double chest instead of two singles, because extra sound is, well, unnecessary. As you can see here, I'm able to get around to the floor of the main hallway, or the main entryway slash dining hall area. It took me a few tries to find a block I was satisfied with, but deep slate tiles really do look nice. I had a few incidents where I ended up just breaking. Look at that. That was just enough to finish this. Well, I mean, minus that, but it is really counting. So what am I going to do with that second floor? Because what I do with that will be spread throughout the rest of the build. You know what, I think I'm going to leave that for tomorrow, because I just really do not feel motivated at all to do anything on here. And with that, thanks to everyone who's watched all the way to the end, and I wish you a good morning, noon, or night.